Emma Wallace is a British designer who settled down in Hong Kong and made her roots here. What made her fall in love with this city?
I love the people, especially if I go to the market and I try out my basic Cantonese, and they're always so polite and pleasant and encouraging.
Enjoy an incredible teppanyaki and third culture experience to enhance your life. Oh my!
The most charming thing about Hong Kong is its unique culture, a fusion of East and West. Because of that, it attracted many talented people to relocate here, and the designer I'll be introducing you today is one of them.
I always knew I wanted to be a designer from when I was very young. I think I just had it in my bones since day one.
Hi Emma, why did you choose to relocate in Hong Kong? Any special reasons?
Hi Joyce. Yeah, I used to travel here a lot in my early 20s when I was working as a designer in London. I thought it was a lively, bright, colourful place with a really interesting mix of old and new and smells and sounds and sights. It was wonderful. I was really excited when I first came to Hong Kong to experience all of that. And I love the people, especially if I go to the market and I try out my basic Cantonese, and they're always so polite and pleasant and encouraging. And you get into a taxi and the taxi driver always talks to you about anything and everything, and just the general happy vibe that I get from the people, I really like. When I realised that I actually wanted to have my own brand and start my own thing, I was just like, Hong Kong is the perfect place to be able to do that. Everything's on your doorstep. You can be at the manufacturing, you can be at the sample rooms, you can get to the fabrics, you can do everything here from design and to finished product. So I was like, why not? That's the perfect place to start something. What I like about Hong Kong and what's different is it's very convenient for everything. While it's like other cities in the sense that it's very busy, it's culturally diverse, and it has fantastic restaurants and things. When I was living in London, anywhere you went, it took over an hour to get there. Whereas here, everything is within an hour, and you can get to all sorts of different things, and you can do so much in a day and see so many things. I think the convenience of Hong Kong is what makes it a really great city.
So where do you draw your inspiration from when it comes to designing?
Well, when I first started the brand, it was from things that I'd seen and experienced. So moving over here, seeing all the quirky mix of old and new, I really loved. You know, I once went to the beautiful gardens in Versailles and saw the flowers, and then I went on holiday in Thailand and I could mix those prints and the flowers and the colours, and it married together really well. So
you kind of use your designs to kind of tell your own story.
Yeah, my kind of travel journey, and as we've gone along, it's gotten more and more personal, and to this latest collection that's probably the most personal. In the travel that I've done around different places in Europe and different places in Asia, there is some, looking at some of the traditional costumes in places, there is similarities here and there. There's colours that mean different things but have brought different happiness and different vibes, and I think you've got to have an element of both, especially these days where everyone is very mixed. I have two beautiful mixed daughters, and I want them to grow up knowing that it's important to have a bit of all the cultures and a knowledge of everything and everyone, so that you can make your own personal choices on how you want to live your life based on everything you see, not just based on one type of culture or one type of place.
So can you tell us about your latest collection?
So my latest collection I designed last summer. We had our first trip back after COVID to the UK to see family and friends. It was the first time for my family to meet my daughter. We had a few months of so many great happy moments and reuniting and fun times. And then halfway through that trip, my dad became ill. My inspiration this season came from a very, very personal place. We were having such a great time, so many happy memories, happy feelings, meetups and everything. And then about halfway through the trip, and my dad fell ill and was very quickly diagnosed with stage 4 glioblastoma, which is a very aggressive form of brain cancer, to which he immediately went into operations and treatments and all sorts of things that I've never even heard of or thought of. And I went down this very emotional spiral of going from having such happy times to suddenly having to learn about this cancer and face my own dad's mortality. I had to do a lot of soul searching to even begin to pick up the pen to design. I'm not a big exerciser and I'm not a big coffee lover, which are your main ones you can quickly utilize to boost your dopamine, but I love color. You can draw on things that remind you of happy moments and happy times from various colors. You can just pick things that bring you joy, and so pink is a very happy color for me. And I started to look into that and utilize that to basically use this collection as my own natural painkiller and my own therapy to help me through.
So I just saw this dress. Can you tell us more about why you chose the patterns or the colors?
Sure, so this one is my favorite print from this new collection, and it's actually because it's very personal and it's a combination of things that I loved, my dad loved, and my daughter loves. When my daughter and I were stuck at home because of COVID, we'd lie on the grass and we'd look at the flowers, and we had lots of pinks and purple flowers, and she just loved looking at them. So this is kind of like a print that heals me, that reminds me of those happy times with my daughter and reminds me of my father because of the colours. So it gives me so much happiness and joy that that's my natural painkiller of the dopamine high and things that I get from it. So.
I can see you're wearing the same pattern right now.
Yes, I'm wearing them with me today.
So for your brand, do you have like a specific target audience?
I think our target audience is independent, vivacious women who believe in self-care and want to showcase their own style. And so we have a lot of pieces that you can kind of self-style so that you can wear it in different ways depending on how you feel and depending on who you are. And that is a little bit more adventurous, but not pushing you out of your comfort zone in terms of sexiness and things like that. It's kind of enhancing you and bringing out your best self so you can go out and have the best day.
Sounds like me.
Yeah. I've been here a long time now, 13 years, so I've had some great achievements. Starting my dream of having my own brand is definitely one of them. Opening my own store has been another big achievement, and I think probably the biggest personally is becoming a mummy and having 2 beautiful daughters who I don't do the traditional helper in terms of childcare. So I'm a full-time mummy in childcare, but I'm also a full-time business owner with my brand. And I want them to learn about love and caring and be brought up by mummy and daddy as much as possible, but also see what it's like to be a businesswoman and be strong and powerful and be able to chase your dreams. So I feel very lucky to be, I guess, a mummy boss. That's my biggest achievement right now.
So can you tell us about your brand's direction?
We've got a few things coming up. I can tell you a little bit what's coming there. It's actually inspired by a trip to Zhao.
Oh, wow.
Where I saw some beautiful tiles and flowers, so you'll see some new prints coming through inspired by that. And then for the main collection, I'm still figuring out where I'm going with that, but it's definitely going to have a more deeper personal meaning that will support myself and support other people.
Really looking forward to see those designs.
I'm excited to show you.
Thank you. What I love about Emma's brand is how she uses her colorful designs to tell her own personal stories, bringing happiness and empowerment to her audience.
Today is all about third culture cuisine. It was born out of the influence of American culture and Japanese culture. Can you guess what it is?
Third culture cuisine? Do you mean Turkish food? Because that's one of the world's 3 major culinary traditions.
Turkey, Japan, America, not. Anyway, I'm
Confused.
taking you to eat teppanyaki.
Oh, but then what is third culture cuisine?
Ah, that is a good question. And somebody very special will be answering that.
So, little known fact about teppanyaki is that it is a third culture cuisine. It doesn't belong to anybody. After Second World War, American soldiers who were still living in Japan were homesick and they were craving a taste of home. Teppanyaki originally only featured seafood, but then we later on introduced steak onto the teppans. Then today, that is the teppanyaki cuisine that we know and love. Right, here we have our beef selection. Here we have 4 very interesting beef cuts for you guys to choose from today. Starting from right here, you will have the US prime tenderloin, the leanest cut of all. And then on the right-hand side right here, that is our Australian Wagyu ribeye. And of course, last but not least, we are a Japanese steakhouse. We can't go wrong without A5 Kagoshima steaks right here. So right here, this cut would be the tenderloin cut, and this big boy sitting right on top of the block would be the sirloin, the most luxurious cut of beef we have to offer.
Christian, what do you think?
I want it all. All of it, please.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
I believe that many people enjoy teppanyaki not only because they can appreciate the chef's skills, but also because they can have a rich experience in terms of visual, olfactory, and gustatory senses. The Tokushima tomato is a type of tomato with a very high sweetness and almost no sour taste. The chef removes the tomato skin and pairs it with sea salt, creating a fresh and flavorful taste with multi-layered sweetness that fills the mouth and lingers on the palate. I love the simple presentation.
Tokushima fruit tomato, you guys. Enjoy.
Thank you. Wow.
Oh, so juicy. Oh my goodness.
I mean, it's just made all the other tomatoes look bad. You know, like it's like, wow.
I first thought I was like, it's so sweet, it's almost like eating candy. But then the juiciness of it doesn't make it a candy.
It's
straight up
almost
fruit.
like if you close your eyes, it would almost be like a strawberry,
Ah, I see.
right? It's got like strawberry notes to it, but yet it maintains, because we added a little salt to it, maintains that tart tomato flavor.
Comes back now, the tomato part at the end.
We are a lavish teppanyaki affair. We meld the best of both worlds of the luxury and refinement of the Kobe teppanyaki and a dash of Rocky Aoki's American dream.
The Hokkaido uni toast is a flavor explosion in the mouth. Simple layers of fresh uni on top of a perfectly toasted piece of bread with butter results in a complex yet satisfying bite. Oh my!
Oh,
That is one delicious bite.
I mean, we're very used to eating uni in a very sushi context.
Yeah.
So you got the rice, you got the vinegared rice, so a little bit of acidity. The uni on top brings the sweetness, but you still have like a sweet sour balance, right? Here is like a sweet on sweet with a little bit of butter
Yeah.
in between. So the bread is nice and sweet, toasted, really nice and sort of crispy.
It's a umami kind of right
Right?
in the middle.
And then right in the middle, some butter.
Yes.
Hits you. I can't eat uni another way.
I also like the textures. Like what you mentioned with rice, it's like sticky and a lot of chewing.
Yeah.
But here, when I first took a bite, the bread, it was crispy on the outside. The inside was very soft. And then the uni, when it melted, it's like so creamy.
So good, and it just melts in your mouth, right?
So good. I need another bite.
It's so simple. Just toast, butter, and uni.
Chef's
Fresh
kiss.
ingredients.
Well, what separates us from other teppanyaki restaurants is that we are in one of our most proud establishments, the Whiskey Lounge. Whiskey is another thing that is also a meld of both cultures. Besides the Whiskey Lounge, we also have everything within the walls of this restaurant that screams third culture, mainly Japanese and American. The soundtrack we play in a bathroom, it is a commentary to a baseball game. And when you're in front of the teppan, you're listening to soft jazz. Baseball and jazz are both originally American, then made widely popular in Japan. And also on weekends in this beautiful Whiskey Lounge, we also have a psychic mentalist to entertain our guests after they've enjoyed their beautiful meal at the teppan as well.
This delicious and flavorful butter teppanyaki lobster is my favorite seafood dish. The lobster is seasoned with salt and seaweed powder, and it's paired with garlic bread. It's then topped with a sauce made from lobster paste, soy sauce, sake, etc. The lobster meat is fresh, sweet, and tender, and the sauce emits a rich and sweet fragrance of lobster paste. Simply irresistible.
So this is the teppan spiny lobster with coral butter. So the coral is the lobster roe
I
that you can
see.
find in the head,
Yeah.
and cooked it with the butter very simply, and a little sprinkle of seaweed on top.
It
Smells
so
heavenly. Smells so good.
Go. Wow. I cannot. It is. Wow. It's so tender. It's so juicy though. But the bread still keeps its integrity.
So
like-
juicy that when I'm eating it, the juices are like coming out. So the great thing about this is the lobster's perfectly cooked, not chewy at all. You know, just controlled on the teppan. The teppan's not too hot. No, the butter didn't burn. It's penetrating through, and the coral, which can be quite aggressive, the flavor is quite mild,
Yeah.
and it doesn't coat at all. It's just an accent in itself.
I think it's because he put some mirin and the soy sauce made it a bit sweet.
Exactly.
Yeah. Because something I'm afraid of is sometimes if the lobster is too chewy, overcooked. But this, perfectly done.
Just perfect.
Japanese teppanyaki originally only featured seafood on the teppan. After Second World War, American soldiers who were really craving a familiar taste wanted steak to be eaten and be cooked on the teppan. As time went on, that is now what we know as teppanyaki. And to combine the two, we also have a beautifully curated menu that featured both very fresh and fine seafood and excellent premium cuts of beef.
Now it's time for the highlight, the teppanyaki grilled beef tenderloin. The A5 Kagoshima Wagyu beef tenderloin is seasoned with just salt and pepper and grilled medium rare. The meat is tender, juicy, and flavorful. It melts in your mouth.
Okay, Teppan Kagoshima A5 Wagyu tenderloin
Ooh, with the garlic chip on
with
top.
the garlic chip.
Mmm. Wow.
That's the stuff.
Mmm. It almost doesn't feel like beef because it's so soft and tender.
So tender.
The fat inside is marbled perfectly.
But it's synonymous. I mean, I think that when you think of teppanyaki, you think of tenderloin. That's the place to eat tenderloin. And with the Kagoshima A5, it's got a little bit of fat in between, melts just a little bit. So when you put it in your mouth, it's ever so gentle. It's such a good experience.
And it was done perfectly with like just a tiny bit of sear on it on top, so it adds a little bit of extra texture.
Again,
as well.
not overly heating
Exactly.
the teppanyaki and not overly searing it, just right. Everything is just a touch.
Yeah.
Right?
It really takes like really precise control for it to come out like this, and that's what I really admire about teppanyaki. But
Yeah.
this is so good, and there's so many combinations you can do with all
Exactly.
these
So
sauces.
we have the yuzu vinegar, we have the sesame sauce, and then we have a garlic soy that we can go for. And even they provide
There's wasabi.
this wasabi, which is
Yeah.
I imagine it's good to take away the gaminess of the of the beef, but
Something I've never seen before.
but it's such a mild beef that you almost don't need it. But let's try anyway.
I did try it with a bit of wasabi, and what I feel like is it adds like not like a spice, but it kind of takes away the oiliness of the beef a little bit,
It cuts through the oiliness.
just a bit, and it's like, but it's still really good.
Yep.
It adds to it. It
I
doesn't
wonder
take
if the
away.
yuzu vinegar does that too. I mean, vinegars cut the oil really well. And we dip it in there, and then a little bit of the salt, and then
And I find just with the garlic chip on top, another texture.
that's really good.
Amazing.
I think today's meal was cooked so perfectly. Everything was just right.
Chef's
And
kiss.
so satisfying. Oishi.
Cheers.